come to the end now, and you know that this guy's 2 points in. There are various things they can start doing. So I don't like that at all. I really don't. You know, there's certain things like the count I've mentioned to you that I don't like either. The open scoring. I think that's just one of these trying to get to score points by saying, no, we've implemented this system, we implemented the only good thing that is bringing 4 rounds. The WBC had a lot to do with that as well, because boxers got injured, bottom lip saved his neck. There are a lot of good things. I'm not knocking the organisation. I'm simply stating that
they do good things as well. VADA testing, for example.
Yes. Overreacting and over-regulating is bad for the sport. That's my view. And I've been involved in it for 57 years. So far, so 63, it's a long time. I've been in townships, I've got my apprenticeship in my best schooling was in the township, trust me. I saw fights that you won't believe it. Talking about double knockdowns, guy fell on his face on the canvas. You know, I mean, you can't believe the action I've been through.
There's a very good video out there on YouTube as well, the fight between Felix Trindade and Fernando Vargas.
I did that fight.
They had, you were there, and they had the scores of the judges on the screen there on the HBO broadcast. It was done then. I haven't seen it since, but if you're a viewer, you want to see how judging work, that's a hard fight to score, lots of knockdowns to and fro. Go look on YouTube, Felix Trindade against Fernando Vargas, and then you can see stand score as well, and you can see how it works.
I got a fight, you look at yourself again. Rocky Lockridge, Zebia Pedrosa at the Playboy Club in America. The Playboy, you know the Playboy?
Yeah, now you have to concentrate, because you've got a lot of distraction.
They gave me a nice plaque. I gave my wife, I have to suffer hot tongue, a cold shoulder.
You have to explain.
I'll tell you what, I come with the camera to the bunny time. Now what happened there? They introduced for the first time ever ringsiders, only ringsiders with instruments. They said that's blue and red, you've got to touch who you think won, okay? Watch that, please, you've got to watch that fight. And the announcers, Chuck Clancy, one of the great trainers,
Chuck Clancy, yes,
with Griffith, and Tim Ryan with you, and they were being influenced by the crowd. 1 round, Pedrosa dominated, but clearly they only had 54%. Because the ringside are all for Lockridge.
Yes.
And I was a referee, a judge. You know, the score was wrongly announced. The bloke added up wrongly. I think I added 3 points for but he won. The other guy was way out, the Panamanian from Panama. They said when neutrality should come in. And the American had 2 points. Good judge at the time too, but also hometown, Harold Edelman. And you know, it proved then that it doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't work. People even ringside doing that. Rather do the fight like the old. Keep it till the end. It's what boxing traditionally is. You know, you must. It's 100 years now. You want to go back and make change the wheel.
Yes.
So leave it. Why go? Why interfere? If it's not broken, why fix it? And very often they create things that make a bigger mess.
Yes.
In my view. Bigger mess because of that.
And you know, there's a thing about judging that people also don't understand. It's a profession, it's a skill like anything else. Sometimes, you know, there's out and out robberies you can see, but you can't judge a fight sitting, I always tell my friends, if you're sitting there having a beer, watching a fight, that's not, you can't judge a fight like that. You've got to really have intense concentration. Sometimes I'll go back and I'll switch the sound off, and that's even not the same. And I'm obviously not a judge like you, but I know I think what my system works. But even that is not the same. And I've been privileged to be right on the ring apron commentating sometimes, where the blood falls over you and the spit and everything, and then you can feel the impact of a punch is much better for where you sit as well, and TV sanitizes a bit. So when it's a close fight, you know, often we have it, you know, whoever wins now, the other corner is going to, and the fans on that side are going to bitch. You get close, legitimate close fights, and I'm sure you as well. I can sometimes feel this guy nicked it, but I won't complain if the other guy gets it. There's a subjectivity to scoring as well.
I agree 100%. You summed it up beautifully. It's quite right. What you've said there is exactly that. You can't, you know, go with the preconceived idea. The subjectivity of it is important, and there's certain principles you've got to follow. You know what I mean? And I sat at the ringside, and believe me, I look, and all of a sudden, I turned my attention about what it was. You know what? I lost track because that particular round was a deciding round. So how can you even watch TV at home? My wife says, just get out of it. I want to watch this fight, score it. If I start turning, I go to the fridge. You lost. You've got to be undivided focus. It's been total concentration. I mentioned that.
Yes.
From 3 minutes of absolute uninterrupted concentration, then you come to a good decision. And better ringside. At the same time, you're quite a distance away. And you see one from this side. Think about it. How can you give a proper view at the ringside? Yeah, you're watching right here. in front of you, impacting the blow, he lands on the target area, slips the punch. You know, a guy's head goes back, we used to have a guy, he jabs all the time, the guy goes like this, like that. And all of a sudden, he's been hit, he hasn't been hit. I had a guy, just a slip, you know, like the greatest fighter of all time, Sugar Ray Roberts, you know, pound for pound. We had a guy in this country called Enoch Schoolman Clark, he just went like a stroke. I can't explain it to you, but so neat and so quick and so accurate. So unless you focus, concentrate on the blow, where it lands, the power of the punch, they're not petite punches.
And a lot of punches you think land, they don't land. That's why you have judges on 3 different sides of a ring, you know? Especially if it's your guy.
Because of the subjective nature, like you say, that you've got to try and find a formula which you can, but to make an assessment on TV is wrong. I mean, I've watched fights that I've officiated that look different. Don't know why. That particular fight, and I'm not talking some of these high profile things with cameras all over, up in the sky, all over the bloody shop. But there are fights where it's televised in some countries and you only get this one thing, and then you go back and say, no, that doesn't look the same. You know what I mean? So it's best to be ringside in closely contested fights to be able to make a proper assessment. And that's why some commissions, they have an independent person keeping a card. Okay? We did that once in this country when I was executive director here for 29 years. What we did, we kept a card, and he would compare that card with the judges. So in other words, there was no weak guessing come to the board, so no, Mr. X was a complete, he scored it like that. He could be out. But I'm supervising on Saturday night, I keep my own card. I do. So when the fight ends, I quickly mark it and I get the cards and just I mark it down. And I compare my card to theirs at the end. And I make comments accordingly. You know what I mean? So anyway, otherwise, how can I comment? How can I comment honestly?
Yes.
If I'm supervising, I'm in charge. But I'm not, I don't know what they do. So I score immediately and that card comes mine different with them and I can make comments. That round is too wide, whatever. Or I'm out, which can happen. Also, you know what I mean? I've got other duties to do. I get distracted somehow. That's why I know. The guy calls me and I turn my head. I can't make a proper assessment of that. I make a little estimate to my story. So I know what you've said, that it's difficult and it's got to be at ringside to give a good account of it. And you can't, like one body said, we're not going to do this. Oh, COVID now. We'll at home, we'll send your score in.
No, that's not going to work.
Never work. Never work. How can it work? I mean, it's like
once again, somebody in charge who doesn't know boxing. Neville, can you hand me Stone's book there, please? We're going to talk about your book as well. Viewers, forgive me. I should have put it on the table, but it's not every day I have a Hall of Famer, another top official, Neville Watts there. Thanks, Neville. Stan, you wrote a book. I'm surprised it took you so long. You could have had an Encyclopedia Britannica a la Christodoulou by now. The Life and Times of Stanley Christodoulou. It's a great book. I've read many boxing books, as I'm sure many of you guys watching did. One of the best books I've ever read, because Stan is a piece of boxing history, not only for South Africa, but the world. And it takes you from the bad apartheid days, the things they had to go through, what it took to integrate the sport, that led the way for integration in sport, and eventually, thankfully, we got rid of apartheid, and the whole international thing, and his experiences as a referee, and also some hilarious stories in it. Stan, it is available on Amazon.com.
Amazon.com, yes.
Okay.
And I also, what I can do, I've got copies myself, and if they want it personalized, I can do that. I have a little boxing glove that I'll give with it. Okay. You know, if they want to get it directly from me. But it is on Amazon, but it is something that I agree with you, not because it was well written by a guy from Australia, Graham Clark, and David Isaacson. Graham Clark put it together, but really professional. And what I'm happy with, I even mentioned some incidents where officials can benefit. So I, again, tried to make what I observed as well. But it was a high life, that's my life story. Okay?
Yes. A very condensed version, I'm sure.
Proud of it, I'm proud that I could give some sort of legacy to
Yes.
South Africa that needs to be acknowledged for the great fighters we've ever had. And for my family, they sacrificed my wife. Geez, I tell you what, it wasn't for her sacrifice what she gave. And she was annoyed with me because I didn't give a little tribute at the beginning.
Yes, you did.
I attributed to the people, the fans. You saw what I did. There's my love. I don't, everyone was, you always say your wife. Grey, you name it. But it's a good read.
It's a very good read.
It's a very good read, and I'm very happy that, thank you for those kind words. And if you're a boxing follower and you want to really enjoy a book, I would recommend you get this.
Nice photos in there as well. It's a real piece of boxing history. Your personal story and lots of info about boxing and some very funny stories too. I can't spill the beans on that. So that is it for today. Hall of Fame referee and judge, Mr. Stan Christodoulou, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
We're still locked
Thank
in
you
here.
so much. It's been a real pleasure. Anytime anyone may again for any other reason, my pleasure to come along and talk to the fans that want to know anything about the sport.
That's great, Stan. And we're still going to enjoy our time here at Emperor's Palace. And we are hopefully going to see some, I'm sure we're going to see some good fights on Saturday night. You can watch on Super Sport, unfortunately, no crowded out. And that's it for me. Thank you, Stan.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.